Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from today. Just giving a minute here for folks to go ahead and get logged in, and we'll kick off the webinar in just a moment. All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today for today's webinar presented by the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, or NINDS. My name is Gabe Gonzalez, and I'm a health program specialist in the NINDS Division of Neuroscience, and I'll be your host today. Can we change the slide, please? Today's session is the inaugural webinar of the NINDS Monthly Preclinical CDE Data Standards webinar series. This series will be held on the third Wednesday of each month at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and will highlight the development, application, and future directions of common data elements and data standards across preclinical research with a focus on neurotrauma research. Next slide, please. Before I turn things over to our first speaker, I'd like to cover just a few housekeeping items. First, today's webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be available on the NINDS YouTube channel, hopefully within about 2 weeks or so. A live transcript of the webinar will also be available. And finally, the chat will be turned off for this webinar, but we do invite your comments and questions. You should see a Q&A box on your screen, so please feel free to type your questions into the Q&A box at any time. If your question is directed to a specific speaker, please indicate that, and we'll compile the questions and address as many as we can during the discussion panel at the end of the event. Next slide, please. And with that, I'd like to now hand the floor over to Dr. Hiba Awad, who is one of the traumatic brain injury program directors at NINDS and is the NINDS Preclinical CDE Data Standards Chair. Hiba, it's all yours. You can take it away.
Thank you, Gabe, and thank you everyone for joining us today. It is a pleasure and an honor to be kicking off this webinar series. As Gabe mentioned, I'm Hiba Awad, and I am co-chairing the NINDS Neurotrauma Preclinical CDE and Data Standards program with my colleague, Dr. Ben Chern. So I will start us off with how we got to where we are today. And then Dr. Chern will take over when we come to the panel discussion section of our webinar today. So I do want to welcome our speakers today. They are our CDE lead experts. So we have Dr. Adam Ferguson from UCSF and the San Francisco VA healthcare system. We have Dr. Karim Fuad from University of Alberta, Dr. Aristea Galanopoulou from Albert Einstein College of Medicine, and Dr. Neil Harris from UCLA and the VA Greater Los Angeles healthcare system, and Dr. Michelle LaPlaca, who's joining us from Georgia Tech Emory University, as well as the Atlanta VA Medical Center. So as all of you are aware, we have an NIH policy that has a requirement for data management and sharing, which consists of two components: the submission of a data management sharing plan with all applications for funding by NIH that started in January 25 of 2023. And the second component is that there needs to be a compliance with that data management sharing plan that is approved by the NIH Institute and Office. And if you'd like to have additional information, please scan the QR code to have additional information on that. So as this policy came into effect, we started thinking about our preclinical scientific community and what type of common data element standards exist, what kind of programs and resources are available. And when we dug further into it, we really only found two CDE initiatives in the preclinical space: the traumatic brain injury community, and this was an effort that was really orchestrated by the NINDS, the Department of Defense as well as the VA. And I'm showcasing here some of the publications that have come out. So it's been since 2012 to this date. So as far as we know, the Translational Outcomes Project in Neurotrauma is the first multi-center study that was required to use the preclinical CDEs that came out of this effort. And they have started to publish their data sets. And at this time, everything related to traumatic brain injury preclinical CDEs is being funded by the VA and supported by the other agencies, including NIH and DoD, through the Preclinical Interagency Research Resource Center, which we will call PRECISE TBI. And Dr. Adam Ferguson, Dr. Neil Harris, as well as Dr. Michelle LaPlaca are part of that PRECISE effort, in addition to other investigators that we will dedicate a specific webinar to talk about the PRECISE efforts and all of their products. The other efforts, as I mentioned, is epilepsy. So the epilepsy group has really taken on the task of the preclinical CDEs through the joint International League Against Epilepsy and the American Epilepsy Society Translational Task Force, Task 3. And they have 34 reports and have engaged multiple volunteers, more than 200 in their process. And so when we moved forward, we were happy to have funding from the Vivian Smith Foundation to initiate our neurotrauma preclinical CDE data standards program. Around the same time that we started those discussions, the spinal cord injury community was starting to look into officially developing the preclinical CDEs. They had some, efforts and initiatives in the data standards, and they're going to share some of that with us today later in this webinar. So this program is really the main reason that we are having the webinar series. We wanted the preclinical scientific community to know what's going on. And if anybody is working on CDEs, we want to join efforts and move forward together so that we do not have to be reinventing the wheel. This is a program that has been going on since the beginning of 2025, and we appreciate the efforts from our contractors as well as our NINDS staff. So at this time we have, 184 members of the program as detailed here. And we are very grateful to all of our participating organizations that have either contributed financially or supported workshops or have investigators working towards the development of the preclinical CDEs. So we have a lot going on with different subject areas. And so this webinar series is really going to be a place where we can showcase all of these newly developed CDEs and join efforts with others in the preclinical scientific community other than neurotrauma. As you can see here, there's a list of the different working groups. So please keep an eye out for future webinar topics. Everything is happening together with data scientists and experts in the subject matter. And so we are focusing on making sure that this is a centralized, harmonized approach for developing the CDEs in order for us to promote rigor, reproducibility, and transparency of experimental research, all together while promoting the fair data principles. So we want our CDEs as well as the data mapped to those CDEs to be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So for further information on our steering committee members and working group members, please visit the website. That's where we're hoping it will be a one-stop place for all of the information you need for preclinical CDEs. And keep an eye out for future webinar topics as the year comes along. So with that, I will share with you that the rest of this webinar, I will invite our CDE leads to talk about the common data element basics. We're calling it CDE 101, and then we'll have Dr. Karim Fouad and Dr. Adam Ferguson talk about their reflections on the need for CDEs from their scientific perspective. And then we'll open it for a panel discussion and Q&A with our CDE experts. So Michelle, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Hiba. And we can go to the next slide. So on behalf of the whole NT Proceeds team and the co-chairs, I'm going to just go through a few slides to give some basics on common data elements. And many of these topics we'll cover in future webinars. And please, we can answer any questions during the Q&A period. So there's many different definitions of CDEs out there, but essentially they're all saying that we need to have variables that are standardized, and they're precisely defining one unit of data, one type of specific information. So, and these common data elements are like variables that we use in the lab, except they're standardized across labs. So essentially, they are the column headers in your data set. So that's just an easy way to think about variables and CDEs. And when we're all using the same language, then we can systematically collect data even within our own labs and share data with the data repositories. Next slide. So, so why are these useful? I alluded to it in the previous slide. But basically, even when within our own laboratory, sometimes we have students, researchers that are using different variables from study to study, or maybe even within a study, to indicate, for example, age of the animal. So these are just examples of variable names that are used. So we can see that these aren't consistent, and it might cause some problem if people are trying to automatically pull data from data sets. So that leads to poor reproducibility, poor replication of studies, and then it's really hard to combine studies. So by using the same language, then we can really get past that. So these CDEs are arranged in data dictionaries. So essentially, all of the CDEs have attributes or descriptors that guide their use. So this is all these words that are put into this data dictionary. Next slide. So just to look at this a little bit more closely and how you might use these is this is just an excerpt from a data dictionary where we have the CDE name that's highlighted, and then some organizational terms that describe where it is in the hierarchy of CDEs, as well as some of the attributes that describe the CDE. So essentially, using CDEs is taking these CDE names, and next slide, please, and then putting them at the top of the column headers on a data sheet. Now, this way, the same animal may be represented in multiple rows. Things can be copy and pasted as needed, and there's different data types of CDEs, some that may require a unit of measure companion, such as velocity of a piston it does require a unit of measure. Next slide. So, so just a preview into some of the ways that we can use these CDEs. So we can prospectively use them where we're taking CDEs such as the ones shown in the last slide, could be part of a study, and we are creating data sheets that have those CDEs as headers. Alternatively, they can be used retrospectively to map or align variables to CDEs with existing data sets. And in order to have meaningful applications within a data repository and for data sharing, we want to make sure that this vocabulary is aligned before putting it into data repositories, and then it becomes the most powerful for secondary analyses and so on. So that's just a highlight of what CDEs are. You'll be hearing more from the other panelists and presenters. So now we're going to hear a story, perspectives from scientific community, from Dr. Fawad and Dr. Ferguson. So take it away.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. You guys can really talk fast. I don't know whether I can keep up with this, but I want to come here and tell you really how I went into this whole data sharing and CDE story. And next slide, please. And I want to just say this, I'm not going to lecture you on how to do things, because I started my career really many, many years ago. And I started with an Atari, and my famous computer game had a Bruce Lee consisting of 10 pixels. So I'm not computer savvy. That's what I'm trying to say. So next slide, please. When I did a study where I tried to fuse two experiments into one, I I still thought, yeah, that was feasible. I can fuse two experiments, 36 animals. So I didn't really learn much. It went okay. But then a few years later, next slide, please, I I tried to do something similar with 6 experiments and 139 animals. It was horrible. It was really saddening. I didn't know what red number one is which other red number one and what matches this. And it was just getting out of hand. People describe things differently. And so I thought, man, we should look at these lab books and make clear that all these things are nicely organized, that I can follow it years later. And so I started to look at lab books. Wow, that was proactive, Hiba. Thank you. Then I got things. There's a date and there's an outcome measure like horizontal ladder, and there's a number 1 = 5 and all that. And I was just sitting there and said, oh my God, how am I ever going to understand what this is? I said, people, these lab books are for me in 5 years when I want to fuse experiments, and we need to speak the same language. Similarly, and that goes to the next slide, at the same time, then I met Dr. Ferguson here, Adam, at a meeting in a summer school, and he presented some work that was quite eye-opening for me, and that then defined my journey. And Adam, you want to jump in here?
Sure. Thanks, Hiba. Next slide, please. So as Kareem highlighted, one of the big issues with reproducibility and the idea of secondary data use is that most of the data that's collected in the scientific literature is what's known as long tail data. And it lives in this long tail of dark data, but beyond the literature limit. So these are data sets that are poorly curated, that are heterogeneous, that are small sized, that are somehow magicked into the published literature. Next slide, please, Hiba. So in my lab's own experience with managing dark data, we began this exercise many, many years ago in the spinal cord injury field. There had been this multi-center animal spinal cord injury study. It's a randomized controlled trial, blinded, of drugs in rats. And we got our hands on one of the sites worth of data, the Ohio State University site. And that's what's shown here, these binders, all these paper records, thousands of paper records that were comprising this unpublished data. Next slide, please, Hiba. So with a lot of work, we were able to digitize all these data and then finally feed it to modern artificial intelligence tools. And when we did this, we could then ask, what are the variables that are most important for predicting long-term recovery in spinal cord injury? And to our surprise, what the AI told us was that the single best predictor, most important predictor of outcome, was blood pressure on the table at the time of the spinal cord injury. And very specifically, animals that had very high blood pressure had very poor locomotor recovery. Next slide, please, Hiba. So this was from one of the sites, and it led us to then think that there's more gold to be found in these old data if we can harmonize them. So we did this data archaeology thing where we went to New Jersey, went into an old storage unit that contained all of the multi-center animal spinal cord injury data. Next slide, please, Hiba. And we did this, this sort of paper on excavating fair data, how you can harmonize in this very post hoc way. Next slide, please. And in the end, we were able to recover 1,400 animals from these 8 different centers and then do this very high-powered statistical analysis and ask, is there indeed a relationship between blood pressure and locomotor outcome? And there was, and it was this inverted U-shaped dose-response function where animals that had blood pressure that was kept in this Goldilocks zone right in the middle had the highest probability of locomotor recovery. Next slide, please. So this then inspired us to do the same thing in humans. So we went to the major level 1 trauma centers in the Bay Area, San Francisco General Hospital associated with UCSF, Santa Clara Valley associated with Stanford, pulled all the operative records that we could get our hands on. And then next slide, please, Hiba. We were able to mine these data using AI, found that humans fell into these clusters of physiology, and those individuals that had blood pressure that was maintained in a very normotensive range, not too high, not too low, this Goldilocks zone, had the highest probability of motor improvement. So in essence, what we're able to do here is by harmonizing a bunch of data from paper records, we're able to do discovery, then replication, and ultimately translation into humans, which is now starting to impact clinical care. Next slide, please. And on the basis of this kind of work, the spinal cord injury community rallied around this idea of data sharing. and developed this open data commons for spinal cord injury. This has now grown to become the NIH repository for spinal cord injury. It complies with the modern data management and sharing standards for the field, and it's hosted on the NIH website, the repository of repositories. We have 184 labs that have been registered, 454 data sets uploaded, and 98 of these data sets have actually gone through rigorous curation. There are data dictionaries that have been developed, they've been peer reviewed, and they've been ultimately published, just like papers. Next slide, please, Hiba. And from all of those data that we've been able to gather, we can now retrospectively say, how hard is it to harmonize data? And we've, through this work, come up with these things called community-based data elements, codes. And they aren't perfect, and they're definitely not common data elements. So retrospective ain't as good as prospective. Next slide, and I'll turn it back to you, Kareem.
Yeah, and so one thing that became very clear when we kind of curate those data sets, and what came out with this paper too, is there are inconsistencies, especially data inconsistency, right? And Michelle mentioned that before. What does age mean? What is the age when you give a 5? Is it years? Is it weeks? And it is just not defined well. And next slide. And there are also semantic differences, right? That we name our subjects differently, or the age range versus a value, or even at what time do we define the age? Is it the age when we order the animals? Is it when we do the surgery? Is it when we euthanize them at the end? So we're not speaking the same language. And next slide. And so I realized for myself that, you know, although this whole talk about data sharing, data management is a little intimidating, it was really eye-opening to look at things like the many meanings of age of an animal, right? And if I want to basically teach my students in the lab to be consistent, that we do things the same, report the same, that we can use our own data, and then we have a very easy time to actually share them, and they're well managed this way, I really wonder, why didn't we do this from the beginning? And sometimes, I don't want to say I'm ashamed, but I'm happy that I made this development, and I think it was worthwhile. And that's why I believe in CDEs for the future here. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kareem and Adam. I'm glad we have 2 converts. Good thing you guys are on our panel. So that was actually quite entertaining and informative vignettes. I want to start out the panel. I have a quick question, and I want to build on the vignettes that you just presented. And let me go over to Aristea. We haven't heard her yet. From your perspective, what are the benefits and also include some of the challenges that preclinical neurotrauma investigators face using common data elements? Kind of couch it sort of, what is the buy-in? What is the benefit? What's the return on investment?
Thank you, Ben. I think that's a very important question. And I'll speak from the experience that I have from my involvement in the epilepsy field, and specifically in the joint ILE-AS translational task force. So if I can have one of the first 3 slides that I prepared for the group, because I would like to give some credit to the investigators that participated to this effort. In the epilepsy field, the big challenge almost 10 or 15 years ago was the translation, and there was an intense effort, collaboration among multiple organizations, and specifically the American Epilepsy Society and the next slide, please, and the International League Against Epilepsy. There was an effort, there was a big interest in improving and optimizing preclinical translational epilepsy research. How can we de-risk the process of bringing preclinical findings to the clinical arena? And as part of the needs that the field was felt that we need to address was, number 1, improve the practice, provide best practices for preclinical research. Number 2 is to provide transparency in the reporting. also facilitate study comparisons to see what exactly truly fails or truly succeeds in the preclinical effort, and also promote research collaborations. That was the time that there were emerging consortia, Center Without Walls in the United States, but also in Europe and other countries, that investigators felt that they have to come together, multiple areas of expertise, but also share data. And that was one of the elements and initiatives that the Translational Task Force decided to undertake through the creation of the Task 3 work groups. And that has been highly productive. There was hundreds of volunteers involved. And there were so far 2 special issues published with the efforts providing CDEs for epilepsy, preclinical translational epilepsy research, and also providing in that context case report forms, meaning forms that people could use in their everyday research to conduct and report. And I would like briefly to show the subsequent 2 slides just to give a tribute to the investigators and experts that participated in this effort. So the main goal was to make research more effective, de-risk, and be able to filter the true discoveries from the false discoveries. Can I have the next slide? Hiba, could I have the next slide, please?
Oh, I advanced it. Are you not able to see it?
No, I still see the same slide. In any case, it's not moving, Hiba.
Let me stop.
Okay, well, we've got a technical glitch.
Yeah.
You guys can use the Q&A tab on the top of this video. Please submit any questions you may have if you'd like the panel to address them. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Okay, so in any case, and that effort, it's not just papers, and I have to say that it has been applied in actual preclinical research, specifically the BIOS for RX that I have been involved, and we used many of those CDEs to actually implement them in the preclinical studies for biomarkers as well as treatments for preventing post-traumatic epilepsy. And it has been very useful because it allowed people to discuss and talk among themselves and come to a consensus and agreements about what is important and what may not be as important.
Thank you. And again, go ahead and put your questions in there. That's good. How about Adam or Kareem? We just heard from you. Can you answer the same question? What's the benefit? You touched on that in your vignette. What's the benefit? What's the return on investment? And what are the major challenges you see?
Yeah, so Kareem, if you want, I can give this a shot. So the question is, what is the benefit of CDEs and what are the challenges and return on investment? So the difficulty with CDEs ultimately is going to be compliance and getting people to adhere to them. So I think that's a big challenge. If we can get that right, though, the return on investment will be enormous, because then every data set that's collected for every NIH grant can potentially be snapped together with other data sets like Lego bricks, and you can start to assemble very large analysis ready data sets.
So Kareem, Neil, or Michelle?
Yeah, if I could give the prospect from the actual TBI world, really the actual benefits, what is in it for me is the pooling of actual data. As we all know, science is very expensive. So we and others have shown, especially on Top NT, that in the imaging space, that the data can be harmonized together from multiple labs and it can provide added value to distinguish, say, the actual lesion from non-lesion. Also, we can get extra credit for our work. We can publish the data as a DOI. We get to list that on our CVs. Challenges for me, really, there's one main challenge, and my colleagues on the call have heard this before. It's the long-windedness of manually being able to put actual data all together. Although it should be like a brick of Lego, we still don't have actual techniques to automate this. However, the good news, though, is that these tools are being developed by people like us on Precise TBI, but also Adam and his labs are actually currently funded to try to make these tools to really hasten this adding of actual data.
Thank you.
And I can just add a little part where I see within the lab, there's going to be a return for me to teach students and staff. Even when you start doing an experiment, you think more about it. When you look at these CDEs, you start thinking about it, you start learning about them. So it's not just a standardization for me in the lab, but also a tool to really expose people to these outcome measures and learn about them.
So like with any new initiative, people are probably going to be a little reticent at first, but then after a while, will probably actually become second nature. So there's a question in the chat I want to get to. Where do we find the CDE names, title groups, so that the data we are collecting fit into the data that were already available? Also, how do we go about implementing this in our group? I don't know if that was you guys are smiling. Is that
I can take this. I can take this if you want. This is really a question for Hiba. We will be releasing the first draft in June, I believe, right, Hiba? Or Ben. I believe June is when we're going to be releasing these on the NIH website for public review and input.
Yes, I believe that's correct. So the CDEs are still in development. They're still in the curation phase. So they're not official out there. Well, there will be a public viewing, and I believe that will be probably in June. I think that's our target. And they will be actually available for public comment. After that, then they're going to be submitted, and they will ultimately be found on the National Library of Medicine. And hopefully we'll be able to publicize these through white papers and through various entities such as Neurotrauma and American Epilepsy Society and ILAE study. Okay.
But beyond that, I think we should add, there are going to be tools. There are tools developed as we speak to map data to CDEs, right? So basically a searching tool that will help you. So you don't have to scroll through thousands of CDEs and find what you're looking for. There will be tools that will help you with that, and they are developed as we speak.
And if I could just add to that too, I think that in addition to having tools, as these are released and as people start using them, people in the community might develop tools, right? So we might, hopefully end up having this kind of crowdsourcing system where we're posting, posting tools, posting, ways to use things, and people are becoming, more and more comfortable, especially the younger generation of researchers.
If I can make a comment on this, Ben, one example of a tool, for example, that the Translational Task Force created for the CDEs that we've done is we try to create digital forms of CDEs and make them available to the group, to the community. For example, there is, for those who would like to see more about that, if you go to the International League Against Epilepsy website, you will see that there is a deposit of EpiCDs, which are basically the digital forms of the CDs that people can download and include in
Thank you, Ernesta. So let me address the next question. There's a question that when these CDEs are released in June, will they become a mandatory compliance at NINDS grants? No, we're not going to mandate that. However, with the continued adoption and the need to have data repository submissions, they may mandate that you have your data organized, potentially using common data elements. So I have a question for clarification from another person to review it. The data sets uploaded into the system, oh wait, I'm sorry. I've seen many data sets uploaded into the system, but the DOIs are not published data. I have some folks cite these DOIs in their CVs, but do not know how to value or evaluate this versus published data. Can anybody comment on that? So go ahead, Adam.
So this is a really prescient observation. I will say that the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, NASEM, have actually had work groups to talk about the incentives for data sharing. And what you're talking about is really culture change. So at what point will merit and promotions committees value DOIs for data sets at the same level that they value scientific papers? And there's been a lot of work on this. I think the first piece is to make these DOIs peer reviewed and to have NIH allow them to be promoted as work products for grants. All of that is already in place. And so then what will happen in the future, hopefully, is that at universities, they will start to value this at this level. And there's a lot of work on this. I know that there are members of the audience who can probably comment on this better than I can. So Abel Torres Espin is commenting. I'm sure Marianne Martone will as well.
Chat, the DORA framework purview is this, and more universities are citing. Okay, so here's another one. Is it okay to use data from the CDEs to bolster preliminary data for grants? I'm at the NIH, but I'm on the program end. You guys sit on study sections. So how would you view that?
I mean, I think if data sets personally that are acknowledged, I mean, hopefully, I'm speaking just off the top of my head here until someone else can confirm this. But I think that if they're citable and usable, the analysis is the preliminary data.
I know that when people do progress reports, that it is now the case that some of the RPPR forms allow you to click on data sets if those data sets are indexed properly. So you can actually claim it as a work product for a grant. So that's starting to happen.
So that's the pros. The con is if you're using that data to show feasibility, i.e. you can generate such data. I don't know if that would be favorable. But again, I don't sit on study sections, and I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so here's a sort of, you were talking about the healthy zone between the worst case and best case. Some investigators are worried that CDEs might constrain their science. So therefore, you need a balance between standardization and progress and flexibility. How do you guys feel about how do you find that happy medium? Neil, do you have an idea on that one? Or?
Yeah, so all of us have our own personal ideas about this. Some take the approach of chaos, others want everything nailed down. And I think the CDE effort really is trying to be at least to the point of view that core CDEs, the ones that we probably should or report, should be kept to a few important ones in each agile techniques. And I think really that would capture the agile bare bones of the data, but also prevent a lot of agile errors occurring in the add porting of data if and when we actually demand an awful lot more put in CDE. So I think the approach of a minimal set of CDEs is probably the way to go.
Yeah, if I may add, I also think that CDs are not supposed to be prescriptive. That's not the idea. They're also not something that, once it's done, it's done, it's written in stone. There can be things added. So, if someone has other ideas what to add and CDEs made to add, or even wants to describe his experiment others, you never stop from doing that, right? And they're not telling you what to do and how to analyze something. They only give you a basic framework of important things that you should consider reporting, because otherwise what you did might be for nothing. So I don't feel it's a restriction at all. It is certainly initially when you start this process to kind of map your CDEs to the outcome measures that you use, there might be a little bit of a first step, but once you have this established, it should be pretty easy.
And also there may be variables that you use in the lab or in a study, and then you can't find a CDE for it in the data dictionary, right? But that's okay. You can still share that data. You're just you're providing the variable name just like you always have in a study. And I think that this effort and this mindset, hopefully this culture change, will have people thinking carefully about, the variable names that they choose, that they're specific, that it's, recognizable. So that I think is also a benefit.
To build on that, and I'm going to open this up to anybody, for those who have never ever used the CDE, what are the first 2 or 3 practical steps you'd recommend after this seminar and our CDs are out? Well, how do you think they would be the easiest to start incorporating? So Kareem or Adam, you guys gave the benefits. How'd you start?
So I think I would start by first, if you've never used the CDE and also you're not used to sort of data formatting standards, I would read the Tidy Manifesto. And there's a paper entitled Storing Data Sets in Spreadsheets. These are 2 separate papers. We can provide these citations, Ben, I think, after the fact. People are asking for this. And then understand that those variables that are the top row, if it's in tidy format, there's only one row that describes the variables, that those variables should be mapped to CDEs. That is, you can go to the NINDS website now. There are some older versions of CDEs that you can look at. Thanks, Abel. And then you can actually name your variables with those older CDEs. And that would be a really good step. So instead of age, you use age val, for example.
Hi, can I comment something? I put 3 points in the chat and you can actually read out. The CDs by themselves are not data. CDs are the recommendation. What are the common elements? But late Atul Bhuti, the chief data science officer of UCSF, who was at Stanford first, had actually had several papers starting from 2012, where he had been using this data. So I encourage all of you to look into, this was Kodama et al. PNAS 2012, where he's there. I have nothing to do with that paper, but it is beautiful. CD is a framework. It's neither a firm recommendation as Dr. Severn kind of did. It is a framework. You can move up and down. And I think it should be very clearly stated somewhere. I bring it to the attention to the powers here so that you can just put that it is a framework. You are free to kind of go up and down. But a framework is very necessary. The NINDS CDA groups, and again, it is a shout out, should be considered encouraging. I ask all of you to look into minimal checklist for lipidomics that has several recommendations. There are 2 such papers. One was in Nature Metabolism, and that actually was done by a group of people. I'm not a co-author in that, but it was with the exact same spirit. So I thought that I put these 3 summary processes here for just consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I may chime in, thank you for that, Dr. Bhattacharya. I did want to make sure that we clarify to our audience that there is a process, and we will go into more details in future webinars, that the products from the NT Proceeds CDEs, we plan to have them all posted on the NINDS CDE repository and to have them incorporated into the National Library of Medicine CDE repository. And that is how we plan to make them findable. And we want them to be, you know, the data dictionary for those CDEs to be uniform across all of the places where they could be posted. We are also working on funding Dr. Ferguson and his team with the ODC TBI and ODC SCI with the Open Data Commons to develop a tool that will help users to be able to find the CDEs and easily be able to download them. But a lot of this is still a work in progress, and this is only our very first step to share this information with the community, just because we feel that there's an urgency in making sure that everybody is aware that there is this effort going on, and we don't want people to be working on the same thing, you know, in parallel, but we want to all come together and work together as a community. So I just wanted to make sure to highlight that.
So before I get to thanks, Hilla. Before I get to Cream, Neil, did you want to expand on what you put in the chat for the tutorials?
Only that there is some excellent Agile pieces been written on both the ODC site and the precise TBI site that really leads you through the Agile formatting of the data and really to actually get the Agile data onto ODC, TBI, or SCI. They only at the moment ask you to enter the data into like 8 or 9 CDEs.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say. We wrote a little manual for data management, and Abel Torres has been posted it here. That will help you to get started with the data organization, and also our codes, these precursors that we created for CDs. And I would always go with the low-hanging fruit, right? You go with the descriptors of your subjects. Are they male? Are they female? What's the age? These are very simple CDEs to start with. I would always recommend this. Start with these very simple ones, and then you start to get into the groove.
Excellent. So waiting for some more comment into the chat. Can you guys comment? One of the big advantages of the CDEs is the supporting the FAIR data standards. And speaking from a couple of you have a data repository experience. Can you speak to how the CDs will really support that and really help with the data repositories? Adam, you're shaking your head. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, so I think just finding data sets, if you have a search term that is a CDE and all the data sets have that CDE, it's just going to make life a lot easier for you. If you're interested in animals of a particular age range and you use the right variable for age that every data set has, you should be able to say, I'm looking for age equals this to that, and it'll pull down all the data sets that you would want. So I think making it findable is going to be improved with CDEs. Making it accessible is going to hopefully also make it easier with CDEs, and ultimately interoperability, this idea that you have data sets that can be easily aligned, is actually going to be enhanced by CDEs. And of course, the last part of the acronym FAIR is reusable data. Data is more reusable if it is adherent to standards and can be easily applied through sort of standard analytic code. And if you're a programmer, you love CDEs because you don't have to do any translations of the variables. You just call in the variables using the CDE names and you run your workflow, and it's beautiful.
Okay, and again, I don't want to keep focusing on Adam, but anybody who's managing the database, do you see how the CDEs, are they going to start I don't want to say mandated, but are they going to start relying on CDEs as well as they become more adapted?
Well, we had just by introducing the codes, our community data elements, right? And that's what the paper that Adam showed indicated. We have improved our reporting standards dramatically. It made a huge difference on the quality, even the completeness of the data, and it made a big difference. So I think that with the CDEs implemented, this will in the future make it so much easier for the reporting, and then obviously to understand the data sets, to interpret them.
Neil or Shell, do you have any comments on that, or you just... Okay, so there's another question. Where can we find the list? So Dr. Kenneth Wilkins at NIDEK has posted in the chat the NIH Common Data Elements repository link. So that'll help you find them and see how they're being used. And as Dr. Awad said, these will be posted there at the National Library of Medicine once they're NIH endorsed, and it will be on our webpage. Once they've gone through vetting, they're in the curation process now. And once they're vetted, they're then going to be open for public comment. So that should help.
In addition, yeah, but in addition to the NIH CD repository, you can search under, preclinical is in one of the pull downs. You can see what was there. But the Precise TBI website, which was also posted in the chat, also has lists of CDEs and tutorials that we're constantly updating, and those are pre-governance. So we haven't had them approved by NIH yet, but we are merging with the NIH so that all the CDs will be the same everywhere. So you may notice little differences, but as people are saying, it's evolving, right? So if you use them, it will be much easier to align them in the future.
Yeah, I wanted to add that we are currently in the final stages of curating the CDEs, and we're hoping that we can start to showcase them and share them with the public, starting with the injury model CDEs, probably early March is my expectation. And so that is where, we hope that we will have the webinars in order to let everybody know that these are now available to the public. And a big part of the finalizing the CDEs before we can post them to the NIH CDE repository with the National Library of Medicine is that we have to get public feedback. So we invite the preclinical community to give us the feedback on that. And as everyone mentioned, whoever is working on CDEs is doing their best efforts to post them for their communities. So you might find different versions at this time. But if you contact us directly, we are very happy to direct you and help you find the right CDEs and the most current versions. And we hope that the NIH website as well as the NINDS CDE repository will be a place to link all of these other websites, including the Precise as well as the epilepsy group and any preclinical scientific community that is working on any kind of preclinical data standards.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you, panel. I think we're at our last 5 minutes, so I'm going to turn this over to Gabe, I believe, who's going to do a quick wrap up. Gabe?
All right, is it possible to get our last couple slides back up on the screen here? If not, that's okay.
Yeah, let me do that just a second. Are you able to see?
All right, so just a couple of quick slides to share and wrap things up. But first of all, I would like to thank everyone for attending, and certainly a special thanks to today's speakers. Definitely appreciate all of you. And please consider registering for our next webinar on February 18th using the QR code here on this particular slide in front of you. And then we are also launching an idea scale campaign. to solicit feedback from the community. So I think, yeah, there we go. So please do consider signing up for the Idea Scale campaign with this QR code here. And this will be used for the community to share feedback on the webinars and the process. And beyond that, I just want to thank everyone again and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you all. Thank you, Gabe. Have a good one. Take care.